you know, we're going to help you save some money.
And add some taste.
Add some taste, save some calories, and it's going to be, your family's going to love you because you're going to make your very own salad dressing.
And you might just have some fun too with Bill Collins, chefbill.com. That's his website. 5 dressings, is that what we've challenged you for today?
No, 6.
Oh,
just have to go out and do yourself.
You know, 6 dressings in 30 seconds. No, we're going to go a little longer than that.
Okay,
but
good.
The great thing about salad dressings is they're so simple to make. They are the fastest thing in the world to make. They're going to be so much better. You know the ingredients that go in there. And everybody is always impressed when they say, you made your own salad dressing. It's so easy, and it's not the mystery people think it is.
And I have to say, salad dressing has gotten sneaky expensive in the last 5-10 years.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. And there's no reason for that other than that, well, it's gotten expensive because the ingredients are the same, wholesome, great ingredients. And again, no mystery ingredients go into the home ones. So it's just terrific.
Where do you want to start?
Well, we're going to start with the creamier dressing today. So we're going to start with the ranch dressing. And a ranch is a classic. You can make this lighter, you can make this heavier. And ranch, as opposed to most creamy dressings, it's got a bit of a bite to it, and it's got some sweetness to it. So what I've got here, I've already mixed up the 3 key creamy ingredients for that. I should say mix them, I put them in the bowl. We've got sour cream, mayonnaise, and yogurt. And yogurt is going to be one of the 2 ingredients that's going to give you a bit of a bite, but it also gives you tang.
Greek yogurt or regular?
I went with Greek yogurt. You can go with regular yogurt.
But don't make the mistake of going with a flavor. I did that before. Terrible idea.
So you made like a ranch dressing with the cherry yogurt? Yeah, that's a mistake.
I don't.
Maybe the color should have given you a hint.
It all should have given me a... Well, you know what? Let's just make it the Chef Bill
Okay,
way.
we'll do it my way and see how it works out.
Yeah, much better.
So whenever I make a dressing with mayonnaise and or sour cream and or yogurt, any of those, even if it's just one of those going in there, I always whisk it together because there are often hidden lumps in there and it just smooths everything out. And if you don't do that, the dressing will still be great, but it gives you the texture you want to start out. And actually, no, those aren't going in. I actually left those over there as a mystery because those are going into the second dressing from now.
Ooh,
so I'm glad you didn't toss that in.
So what should I toss in?
Toss in, so that's, that was the 3 creamy ingredients. Toss in, that's apple cider vinegar.
Yes, it is.
Yep, and you'll put a little hair in your teeth. And actually, you can go with honey. I like to go with agave. And this calls for about 2 tablespoons or so. That looks like it'd be about 2 tablespoons.
So. Nice guessing.
You know it's, I've done this once before. This isn't my first salad dressing rodeo.
And now what do we add to this?
And now we're going to throw some scallions in.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, chives rather.
Chives.
Now, if you don't have chives, you can either go with some scallions, you can go with nothing at all. One of the reasons I like them in there, it gives a little bit of color to it.
Now, you use fresh chives. Can you also use dried?
Yes, and if you use dried chives, then you definitely want to let this sit and meld. Usually want to let this sit for an hour or so anyway. But let it sit for an hour or so, maybe even overnight, just so they can moisten up. Otherwise, they'll be too dry for the mouthfeel.
Right. This could be a really good vegetable dip too.
See, that's the thing. It's perfect. I put out carrots for kids when they come home from school, or you're having some friends over. So now the next thing you always want to do is take a taste of it with it, and then taste it again after it's chilled. Because this way, does it need some salt? Does it need a little? Is it too much vinegar? Too sweet? So if you want to take a quick taste. Okay, you can have one too. Yep.
This is the first time I've had salad dressing on a spoon.
Well, that's it. Because that way, before you find out on the salad. So does that taste like what you think a ranch dressing should be?
Yeah. Now, if you wanted to, could you add one of those packets to the, you know, those ranch dressing packets you see?
Yes, but that would defeat the purpose.
Then, okay, this is the right way to do it.
And also, this could be a lot cheaper because this way, if you buy a big thing of yogurt, you still have yogurt to eat throughout the day.
Exactly. That is really yummy.
That's very good.
And so we pop in that on the salad in a moment. The next one, this is my all-time favorite salad dressing of all time, to be redundant, because I've always loved blue cheese dressing. It's always been my favorite. And I was always in search of the perfect blue cheese dressing recipe. And then when I came up with it, I found out it was actually my mother-in-law's recipe. I tasted it, I said, this is perfection.
That's the one.
And so this starts very similarly. Sour cream and mayonnaise, whisk them together.
No yogurt this time?
No yogurt this time, although you could do that, but you don't have to, because it's also such a rich dish. And I'm putting in just a hint, a whisper of Tabasco, not too much.
That's very much a whisper.
Well, you see, that's the thing. You can always add more, but once you've gone overboard with the hot sauce, then you start to have to add more mayonnaise and more sour cream just to balance it off.
And it's 2 whispers, I think, of Worcestershire sauce.
A louder whisper.
A little more of a whisper of Worcestershire.
I think it might be a yell of Worcestershire.
And you can either buy a whole piece of blue cheese, or you can go with
the crumbles.
The crumbles.
And that looks like it's from your friends at Whole Foods.
It is, and I neglected to mention that everything today came from our friends at Whole Foods.
Oh, well, thanks to them.
Thanks to them. So now, here's the thing. This dressing in particular does really, really well when it's had at least an hour to sit.
That's it? That's the whole thing?
That's everything.
Wow.
So
No garlic.
no garlic. I don't put garlic in that. You can taste that, but also I've got one here that's been sitting for an hour.
okay.
So when we go to put it on the salad,
Here you go, Ashley.
we can have the big wow moment.
You don't want that much?
Well, no. I think this is my spoon.
Good point.
And
That's really good.
well, like, don't take the shock out of your voice.
I'm sorry.
And no, it's okay.
That's
I'm
really
not.
good.
Yeah, no, it's actually that's the
fancy.
thing. It's really, really good. It's rich because it's not a light dressing. It's rich. It's just got all kinds of flavor.
Aftertaste.
Right.
There's not that I came from a bottle and I'm not loving this kind of taste.
And that's why when I was doing my experiments many years ago, I didn't dawn on me to combine the sour cream and the mayonnaise. They really balance each other out, so you don't have too much.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is just my favorite dressing ever.
Have that with your chicken wings.
Yes.
Perfect.
And so now that brings
Now-
us up to the Caesar salad.
Yes.
So now, I've already got just some vinegar in here, and I'm going to put in, now here's the ingredient that most people do not want to have in there, but I put it in anyway. See, I saw the Ashley
it
face.
the-
Well, just the way that
This is
looks.
anchovy paste. Anchovy paste. But when you put it in, you say, do you like the dressing? Yes. Do you like anchovies? No. So you're not just eating an anchovy. You've got all these other ingredients in there. Stay with us, Ashley.
So you gotta know
I'm
how
with
the,
you, I'm with you.
You gotta know how the sausage is made.
I have faith
that's
in
right.
you, Bill.
It's
And
no
so-
fun, but you have to.
And I put in just a little bit of mustard in there, and the Worcestershire sauce, just a little bit more. And actually, there are anchovies in Worcestershire sauce.
You told me that a while ago.
Yes, and I know
But-
you tried to deny it.
No, and then someone actually told me that they make Worcestershire without anchovies.
Yes, it can be done. So now just whisking this together. Now you see you're already starting to get a little, because of the Worcestershire sauce and the anchovies, we got a bit of a color going there. And also I'm going to put in just a little bit of Parmesan, because what we're doing is, and we're going to see this more with the other dressings, like a vinaigrette, and that's what this technically is we want all this stuff for the olive oil to cling on to. So I'm whisking that up.
Because there is also, I've seen creamy Caesar dressings, but this is the olive oil based one. And I think that's more prevalent.
And it is more prevalent. Now, first, I'll explain. I'm going to get back to the creamy in a second. But here, you just want to pour really, really slowly. That's the key to any vinaigrette. Pour it so slowly, you think your arm's going to fall off, but that's how it'll all combine and stay together.
No, there's a reason for it.
It is, because if you just dumped it in, and we might be doing that later just as a show and tell, you'll see that they'll separate immediately. So this way, you'll have it all stay together. If it should break, which is the food term for if it does come apart, just shake it up, whisk it up just before serving.
And a lot of these dressings, too, you can serve in a bottle that you can shake every time, because it will separate over time.
It is going to separate. Well, yes, that's exactly what happened. Those thicker ones won't, but these vinaigrettes will.
How long can these stay good for, roughly, in your refrigerator?
I would give those just, no more than a week or two, because don't forget you've got sour cream, which is a fresh ingredient, and then that's going to go bad eventually.
Right.
So then, but now just to jump back to your creamy question, the original Caesar salad dressing, and as we all know, Caesar salad was originated, I'm not kidding, in Tijuana, Mexico.
What?
Seriously.
I did not know that.
Yeah, actually it was. And
Oh, my
so,
childhood's been a lie. I always thought it was, the
Italian,
Roman days. Yeah.
exactly. No, all the Hollywood stars used to go down to the racetracks in the 1930s, and it was made tableside. Now, here's the thing. When you ask how you get a creamy dressing, traditionally it's made with, and that's why you see people ask if there's egg in this dressing at the restaurants, it's made with the raw egg yolk.
Oh.
And so that's what makes it creamy. So this way I'm making it without the egg yolk, and we're going to have a nice dressing just like this. And so now you see it's all coming together.
I'm really impressed.
You gotta be tired.
You're not
What-
flinching.
Why
No.
don't we give you a break? How's this sound?
That's
You finish
perfect.
up this one.
Absolutely.
Keep whisking, and we're gonna come back
Don't
with
stop
Chef
whisking.
Bill.
I'm
Keep
never
on
gonna,
whisking.
I'm
In a
going
little
to
bit.
keep on whisking.
Three more dressings.
Three more
so you better
dressings.
get ready.
I
We'll
think
do
so.
that.
Okay, great.
We're back with Chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com, and we made 3 salad dressings earlier.
Yep.
We made a Caesar, a ranch, and a blue cheese.
Yes.
What are we making now?
We are now going to do an Italian dressing. We are going to do a raspberry vinaigrette, and we're going to finish up with a classic balsamic.
Sounds delicious.
So these are all vinaigrettes, and the key to every vinaigrette that's ever been made is you got to remember the numbers 2 and 1. 2 parts oil, 1 part vinegar. And from there, everything's easy.
Wow,
All right.
good to remember.
So what we're going to do is we're starting out here with the, I've already put in the vinegar here, the red wine vinegar. If you don't have red wine vinegar for an Italian dressing, and actually so many of the dressings, you can go with the white wine vinegar. The only difference is in the flavor of it ultimately, it's not going to be red. So that's perfectly fine. It works out
Okay.
quite well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little agave. You can use honey or you can use sugar. I prefer to use agave. I've also got some dried herbs here, some basil and some oregano, and I already put a little salt in there.
Perfect.
And a little bit of fresh garlic.
Ah, yes.
And we're good to go. And actually just a little bit of freshly ground pepper.
And then does the oil go in after?
The oil goes in.
Slowly?
The oil always goes in after, because one of the things is, in order for all to combine, is you want to have as many ingredients in there first as possible, and then just go whisk them all together, and that's how you end up with the vinaigrette. Now, what a lot of people do sometimes, it's entirely up to you, is putting in some freshly grated Parmesan in there. If you decide to do it, that's fine. If not, no big deal. Still going to come out terrific, or you just put it right on top of the salad if you want.
Oh my gosh, that smells so good.
It is, and this one too, you'd like to let it sit, if you can, for about an hour or so, just so everything can meld together and the dried herbs can soften up. If you're using fresh herbs, that's terrific too.
Okay.
Now, over here, onto the raspberry. Doesn't that smell good?
Yeah, it does. I want salad now.
It's a good. Yeah, I've never wanted lettuce more than I do
I
right now.
know, it's one of those things. Is that good?
I thought you were going to lick it. And I was gonna say, no.
Oh, no,
Just a big sniff.
Big whiff.
So now the raspberry vinaigrette. There are a couple ways of doing this. And one thing I just noticed when I was looking at my instructions, it calls for a quarter of a cup of raspberries. What I didn't put in the directions is, you want to puree them. You put them through a sieve or just a strainer, because that'll mash them. You get a little puree there, and it gets rid of the seeds. Because you don't want to be spitooing the seeds out.
No, and it makes you look silly at a dinner party.
It does. And so a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Now, here are two things that make this a little different. A lot of times you'll see a raspberry vinaigrette recipe, and it doesn't have raspberry vinegar in it. Two things. One is, way back when, here at Massapeel, I made this raspberry vinegar.
I remember that.
So this is a homemade raspberry vinegar. You can buy raspberry vinegar, or you can skip it and just use a white wine vinegar with more raspberries in there to give you the flavor.
Perfect.
The second thing is, when you're making a salad dressing with fruits or a light flavor, don't go with a canola or an olive oil, because the flavors are going to be so heavy and so oily in the mouth that you're not going to really be able to detect it. So you want a lighter oil, and in this case, I'm going with a grapeseed oil.
Oh, okay. So many different oils and vinegars. You have to know which one you're using for what.
Absolutely. And one thing I might have seen that I did earlier is that I had a damp piece of paper towel on over here, and thank you. And what that did was it kept the bowl from moving around. But since I left it back over by the sink,
well, that just goes to show that your tip really does work.
It really does work, and do try this at home.
Because if you don't have someone to hold the ball, at least you have a wet paper towel that you can put underneath it.
Every time. So now, this is the raspberry vinaigrette. I don't know if you want to take a quick little taste of that.
Of course I do. Okay.
And hey, don't forget about the guy at the end of the table here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's delish.
Isn't it? So it's got a nice, without being the heavy flavor, so nice little, very raspberry-ish.
Very light. We have time for one more that we speed through.
We're going to speed through this balsamic. I like to throw in some garlic. I like to throw in some mustard.
Excuse me.
And
potent.
Well, I think I just, yeah.
A little too much there. Well, I blame myself.
Well, no, salad dressing's a hard thing just to stomach on its own.
That's why we have them on top of salady things.
Do you want to go? You want to take a quick breather?
Too much vinegar.
I can finish up the show.
Yeah, great.
I'm really overwhelmed by all this dressing.
You're verklempt, and that's okay.
That's going to go on my permanent record.
I just want to stay away from all this beautiful dressing.
You're hacking all over the food.
No, I'm not.
And so now, again, slowly adding it so it all incorporates. And if it doesn't get incorporated, then that's okay. You just spin it around before you're ready to serve it.
Now, Bill, what you have there is balsamic vinegar.
Balsamic vinegar.
Garlic.
A little mustard, a little honey, or in this case, agave, olive oil, salt, and pepper.
So super simple, fresh ingredients.
Yep.
And things that you could have in your pantry and whip together for salad.
Exactly. And so here, and I like to put just a little bit on each one. So this is the balsamic.
Yes.
And we've got the other salads over there.
We made these earlier in the show. Let's show them all off in front here.
Here we go.
Let's
Thank you
all
so
this
much.
up.
And thanks for watching, everybody. All these recipes and an extra Italian dressing recipe on our website, mymassappeal.com. But as always, stay tuned for 22 News at noon. It's coming up next. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
Now, you know what I think we should do?